welcome back to Gear65, the Nokia E72 episode, part 2. If you actually missed part 1 where we took a look at all the hardware features, the keyboard, you really should check out the previous episode, part 1. We'll put a link up right here on YouTube right now. You can click that and you can watch that right now. You can find out all about the keyboard and the hardware features. Right now, we're going to be talking about the software. This is running on Series 60 version 3. And basically, this is the version of Series 60 which is designed for physical keypad, unlike version 5 which was for touchscreen. And I really loved it. I've been on an iPhone for quite a while, and I switched from E61, which used to be something like this as well. When I came back to this, I realized how much I loved the Series 60 version 3, because Series 60 version 3 is very customizable. Like we said in the part 1, you can customize the keys, you can customize what do the keys do, and things like that. And there's so many shortcuts for the keyboard.
I know.
It's just so amazing. Let me just show you. This is a user manual. Look at how many shortcuts there are available. Key press shortcuts that are available, right, on the E71. This is a phone, right, that knows it has a QWERTY keyboard and takes advantage of the fact that it has a QWERTY keyboard.
And one of the things, okay, you might see there are so many shortcuts and whatnot, right? But in fact, if you actually take a look at the shortcuts, it's really, really intuitive.
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look, copy and paste is basically what you're so used to already. Control C, Control V, Control X. Select all is available as well. There's a Control A, and like I said, that's why it was so important that they made the Control key a dedicated key in the E72, which was.
And see the calendar part, it's just A for
agenda, D for day, W for week, M for month.
It pretty much makes sense.
Yeah, and it's a very mature OS, version 3. I must say that it's very, very mature, unlike version 5, which we were still not very happy about. But version 3 really is quite good. Let me just show you, for example, right now, remember I changed the key, so when I press this once, I'm sending a new SMS. So let's say, for example, I want to send an SMS to DK, right? And then in my address book, I've actually put his name as Daryl Kang. So all I do is just D space K, and it will be able to tell. And then I can just type a message. And then you can do your normal stuff. But more of the things that you actually use to on the keyboard, you can do it here already. So let's say, for example, you press the Control Shift, right? You can actually select entire word. Yeah, Control Shift. So it's a lot of stuff that you normally use to on a normal keyboard. You can do all these already, and then you can just type your SMS. Just hit the green color button instead, and then immediately they'll just send out an SMS, and then they will be able to detect that it's Daryl Kang. This is amazing. You have multiple entries. Let's say you have Daryl Kang, David Cole, for example, right? They will ask you which one do you actually want to. So it's very intuitive.
So let's say, for example, if I have Daniel Zhou, Daniel Ho, Daniel whatever, can I just type Daniel?
Yes, you can. Correct. You can type just part of his name, and then they will actually be able to search and look for entries with these words itself.
Very nice.
So it's very good. And another thing is that, for example, right, let's say you open the notes, right? Notes. You want to type a new notes, right? Instead of having to go to options and pressing new note, right? You can just start typing. Immediately. It's a new note already.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's been around since the original Series 60 version 3. As far as the E61 is concerned. So these are small little things that they've maintained, and they made it really, really
it makes a difference, and this is what I say that's lacking in other smartphone devices.
Yes, especially with keypads. Yeah, and it's really, really quick. And the phone is actually, if you take a look at the menu, right, it's actually pretty smooth. There's some previous versions when they first came. When I bought the E61, it was so slow, right? But this one is actually, it's pretty smooth.
That they have improved on optimized
the hardware and things like that. It's just amazing. Another thing that has been around also since the E71 is this thing they call it the switch mode thing, right? So right now you have this business view. On the top you have your emails, your messages, world clock, you have a GPS, notes, web browser, right? So hit this button right here, and then after that they'll switch a mode to something like a personal mode. So right now you see the buttons change on top here. You have an MP3 player here, you have a video player and things like that. And you can customize all these, you can choose what you want to see, right? And then of course there's also a notification panel, which we saw in the Nokia E75, right? And then basically notifications appear at the bottom here, and you can just open and launch them at any time, and you can actually oops, I keep launching the camera by accident. You can actually just cancel it and all that. One thing, speaking of the camera, I haven't found a way to customize these two buttons.
Okay.
It's a possibility. There's a chance that it's not possible, right? But last time in the past, because in previous phones they didn't have all these buttons, you can actually customize them. I would love to change it away from the camera, but just to point out that, just one thing you might want to take note.
Okay, what's really interesting about this phone is that they have integrated all the social networking stuff that comes part off the phone.
Yep.
Right, like Facebook,
correct.
Twitter,
So the Facebook and
IM.
MySpace applications are already built in. It's pre-installed for you. The YouTube applications as well. Of course, there's the OV store where you can actually just go and download and purchase more applications for the Series 60 version 3. So when it comes to this phone, the software is actually pretty important in terms of messaging, right?
Definitely.
So when it comes to email and all that, they made the email setup application pretty simple. They're all able to auto-detect your Gmail, Windows Live, as well as your Yahoo Mail settings, for
Well,
example.
basically almost any other email, and you can have up to 10 email accounts within your E72, and it goes directly to its own individual inbox.
Yes, that's right.
And also, I mean, this has been around for quite some time, but you can integrate with your Microsoft Exchange.
Yes, that's right.
And just one only, of course.
Yeah, and then there's actually an instant messaging software, which is not available in the unit that we're currently holding because this unit came from the UK. But we can actually guarantee you that if you live in Singapore, it's going to be available because we played with it on a live unit in Singapore. All right, and this called basically it's an instant messaging application that allows you to connect easily to Windows Live, to Google Talk, as well as to Yahoo Messenger.
And
right?
its own Nokia messaging.
And its own Nokia
OV
messaging.
thing.
Yes, all at the same time, and they actually made it into a seamless, a common user interface for all the 4 applications. In the sense that if the way you you chat with your Yahoo friends and your Windows Live Messenger friends will be exactly the same. However, with its own unique differences. For example, if you're on Yahoo Messenger, you have its own custom Yahoo emoticons. Windows Live, you have its Windows Live emoticons, so on and so forth. So it's actually pretty cool, and that is one of the things that they were trying to promote with this particular phone, and you will find this in the Singapore version of the Nokia E72.
And one of the interesting things about you've heard we talk about the HTC, integrating all the contacts and everything from the IM, Facebook, Twitter. Well, for the IM side of things, right, the social networking, all of that are all separate as of now. They're not combined. You cannot combine them with the contacts as one seamless contact.
Yep.
But on one hand, I like that because it doesn't mess up your contacts. On the other hand, it's nice to have everything in view in one way, right?
Yes.
So that's really depends on your preference.
Yep. Another thing is that don't forget that this is a Series 60 device and it does multitasking. So if you press and hold, right, actually able to switch between different applications quite quickly. And then they definitely improve the hardware because we can actually tell the difference. It actually is a lot smoother when it comes to switching between applications. The web browser is pretty good. Like we said in so many Series 60 device reviews that we've seen so far on Gear65, it's a pretty good web browser. It's not the best web browser, but it's good enough for you to do maybe your mobile web browsing, for example. Yeah.
So for those people in Singapore, when you get your phone and buy the phone from any of the service providers, your phone will be set up with all this, shortcuts and messaging and all of that already in the phone. But I thought this was a little bit bad because one of the problems is that if you do a master reset, it turns back into this. But not to worry, you can actually reinstall the messaging applications through the OV store. And it's actually a paid application, but it comes free for the E72. Yeah, but you have to set it all up again. And one of the things I felt like they should have just worked with the service provider to create, that whole thing when you do a master reset, and it just sets up everything when you take out the box, the same experience. So I thought that they could have improved on that.
Yeah. So overall, the E72 is actually quite a brilliant device in our opinion. If you're somebody who we know that a lot of people who doesn't like touchscreens. You want a good keyboard and you want to do things quickly, right? So far, based on our own personal opinion, right, we actually like it a lot, and we feel that if you're somebody who wants to do things really, really quickly, you don't really care about too many applications, and messaging is actually a priority.
And if calling, actually making a phone call is a priority to you,
yeah.
I think this is the perfect smartphone.
Yes, definitely. So, it's actually one of the best physical keypad devices we've played so far. Of course, you got to judge it for yourself. You got to play with the keyboard yourself. Take a look at the user interface. Is this something that you like? The shortcut keys and all that kind of stuff. Something that is relevant to you. If they are, then this would actually be a good phone for you.
Yeah, and give it a try. Give it some time to get used to the menus and everything, the whole interface, because it's different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So this was the Nokia E72. You got any questions to ask us, you can email us gear65@tech65.org, or you can visit our website www.tech65.org. So I'm Daniel,
I'm Justin.
and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.